What's going on? It's Toolbox here, and we got big news in the Digimon community. They just announced the new ban restriction list that's going to be in effect March 1st. So without further ado, let's kind of go in, look at the cards that they hit, and we'll talk about them. The first card they hit was the Bukamon from BT14. I kind of get the idea for this. The card allowed you to get jamming relatively easily, so it was pretty much every blue deck you just threw it in there because jamming is such a strong mechanic, and like traditionally in other blue decks, like you base your whole deck around the jamming strategy. This just allows any deck to have it, so I get the reasoning to make this down to 1. It just it cut back on deck building potential because people were just like, without a doubt, immediately it's always a guarantee just to use 4 of that. So they hit that down to 1. It's gonna be damn it, where the hell is my phone? So they hit this down to 1. I get that the reasoning makes sense. It just helps with deck building for the future of the game, so yeah, makes sense. Next is BT15 Apoclymon. So we didn't even get BT15 yet. That's not coming out for I believe in February at some point. But the card's ridiculous. I was very nervous about this card, so I'm kind of it's one of those things where it's kind of good that they hit it, because I'm like, one, it was gonna be a problem 100%, and also it's the secret rare, one of the secret rares of the set, so a lot of people are in this mindset of they're not gonna hit a secret rare. They're trying to sell product as much as they can, but it's kind of good on them that they're looking at the game's health, and that in turn will create more sales. But you know, it just allows you to play use on plays of level 6s relatively easily, and you can play this thing out if you do the combo correct for 3 cost. So like they said here in the little description of why they banned it, they because of BT13 Craniumon has the on play effect of until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon. So pretty much just making this thing, you have to use an option card to get rid of it. So say they set you to 3 memory doing the full combo, you can't get rid of it by effects, you have to use an option card, say like a Gaia Force or whatever, and then you've immediately given them, what's 6 memory, and they can do it again. Like it was going to be a problem, and it just mills out the opponent pretty quick. And so good on them. I'm glad they did that. It seems like they put a lot of effort in. There's 3 different artwork for it, and they're hitting it down to 1. But yeah, I think this is better for the game's health. I don't think anyone's really going to have like a huge issue with this unless you planned on playing this deck, I would say. Alright, next is Gabumon X Antibody from EX5. So Bandai clearly has some beef against Gabumon. They just they've hit a lot of Gabumons in turn of trying to make this deck less like a problem, and like, so they hit, like, you know, the last ban list, they hit 2 other Gabumons that helped this deck out a lot, and now they're hitting this one because it also just has a lot of effects that just help the deck out really fast. And it just revealed, like, his on play and when Digivolves revealed the top 4 cards, add 2 cards with Garurumon or X Antibody in their name among them to your hand, then return the rest of the bottom of your deck. And if you add a card, trash 1 card in your hand, so it adds in that purple factor. You're getting a really good search, yeah, it just makes the deck really fast, and its inheritable is also the problem too. So yeah, I can see why they hit it. Now the next one is the Garurumon from X Antibody from EX5 as well. The card does a lot for the deck. It has the same inheritable as the X Antibody. That's why part of the Gabumon, part of me was in this kind of mindset that they were gonna only hit 1 of them, and I assumed they were gonna hit the level 4 instead of the X Antibody as well. But clearly, just hitting the Garurumon wasn't gonna be enough in their mind. So hitting both I don't really know how the deck's gonna play now, because yeah, there's still a lot of Gabumons you can use, and there's still Garurumons. The deck still kind of can do the thing it wants to do. It's just, I feel like there's just so much hit to it now. I don't really feel a lot of people, unless you're a really big, you know, Metal Garurumon fan, I don't think you're really gonna like make the time to play this. Like, I was gonna play this deck, but then they hit all this stuff, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to. I might still try it, just, you know, to try to see how we can make it work. But yeah, yeah, it's just, yeah, there's not much to say, really. Honestly, it's like, you know, it's not it's not banned, so it's still usable. You can still pull one of each in the deck, and it should still be able to run and play. Maybe it'll be more fair for everyone else, and I'm glad they're doing it, because I really don't want to have another Lord Nightmon, you know, set where that's all everyone played, and it was kind of where it got to a point where it's just like, this is really annoying. So good. I want to keep the game as healthy as possible, and I want to see a variety of decks when I go and play. I don't want to just be playing the same thing over and over again. So good on them. And the last card they hit is Anubismon. So Anubismon has this really interesting mechanic. It has a when digivolving and a main effect, so you're able to do the effect consistently every turn. I feel like if they would have made it just a when digivolving effect, it wouldn't have been as impactful, and maybe they wouldn't have had to restrict it, but they kept it, or they kept it as, yeah, no, I would say when digivolving. They kept it as a main, it would still be a problem. But you just trash up the 3 cards in your hand, then you get to play 1 purple card from your trash for the cost. And by doing it, by playing a card by this effect, reduce the play cost by 3 for each card you trashed. So then you can play, what is it? If you trash 3, reduce it by 3, a 9 cost? Yeah. You can play, I don't know. I can't math. It's early, you know. I worked a midnight shift, and now we're here talking about Digimon. Yeah, it was definitely going to be a problem, and it just also deletes opponent's Digimon when you do this effect, and if it doesn't delete anything, it just draws a card. So whatever way, it's getting value out of doing its main effect consistently. So it's just, I can see why they hit it down to 1. I still think it's going to be run. Like, I don't think people are not going to play it, but I think it's definitely going to make the deck building a little more interesting. It's still a good card. I'm glad they didn't ban it. I'm glad they didn't ban any of these cards, to be honest, because you don't want to see... The only time you really want to see cards banned is if they're really like an absolute problem and there's no way around them. But we'll see if time tells, if you restrict these cards and there's still issues, which I doubt. But, you know, that's it, really. What this ban list kind of just is going to... more or less just affect for the game is, I think it's just going to add, I think it's going to make people have to play different decks. Like, we're not going to be in a purple format. Honestly, I could ramble all day about these, but there's really not much more to be said. These are the cards. My thoughts are, I really have no problem with any of them being restricted down to 1. I think it's just going to help the game out in the current state we're in. And, you know, who knows? Have faith if you were stand for any of these cards. They've unrestricted cards before. The game develops in a different way, and these cards wouldn't be as much of a problem. They'll probably bring them back. Like, none of this is set in stone. So, yeah, don't become keyboard warriors. Just, you know, it is what it is. I hate to say it, accept it, yeah. And, I think it's going to make the game more fun for everyone else if you weren't playing these decks. And if you were playing these decks, prove them wrong. Still say that these decks are relevant by building a solid deck around them, even when they're down to 1. So yeah, that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Yeah, peace.